Listen, I'm going to be real with you. If you came here for fancy edits and flashy effects, this isn't that kind of channel. But if you want psychology knowledge that almost nobody talks about, the kind of insights that can actually change how you think and live, then you're in the right place. You just found a channel that'll give you real value, straight up. Mark my words, this will help you.
Give me a few minutes of your time, and I'll show you something you've been calling weakness, not by giving you cheap motivation, not by flooding your ears with empty inspiration, but by revealing the truth. What you call weakness is not who you are. It's a mask, a story, a prison you built for yourself and forgot you were the one who locked the door. If you're willing to sit through the discomfort, if you're willing to hear words that might cut deeper than you expect, then something in you will break, and what comes out of the pieces will not be a better version of you. It will be the version that has always been there, hidden, waiting. Nietzsche never wrote for the comfortable. He wasn't interested in soothing fragile hearts or comforting those who wanted to stay small. He wrote for those ready to confront life head-on, raw, violent, unpredictable life, without flinching. For those who are tired of lying to themselves, tired of waiting for someone or something to save them, and finally ready to step into the fire on their own. So if you're still here, this isn't the beginning of your transformation. It's the beginning of your return, because strength was never outside you. It was buried under layers of doubt, training, and the addiction to comfort. What does it mean to be weak? Most people think weakness means crying too much or being physically small or lacking discipline, but Nietzsche would disagree. Weakness is not about emotion, it's about submission. Weakness is needing permission. Weakness is outsourcing your worth to people who barely know themselves. Weakness is trading truth for approval. Weakness is calling fear, humility, and insecurity, empathy. Weakness is betraying yourself in exchange for comfort. The harsh truth? The modern world is designed to make you weak. Schools train you to obey. Culture trains you to conform. Media sells you helplessness dressed as awareness. Even friends and family, often unknowingly, encourage you to stay small, polite, and predictable because it makes you easier to manage. But easier to manage is not the same as fully alive. Nietzsche's warning. He once wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to avoid being overwhelmed by the tribe." This wasn't about physical struggle. It was about protecting your inner fire from being drowned out by the noise of the crowd. Because society wants you soft, society wants you obedient, society wants you safe, polite, invisible. But Nietzsche believed in the opposite, that strength comes from danger, not from chaos, not from violence, but from the kind of presence that cannot be ignored. The first step to erasing weakness is realizing you've been trained to confuse weakness with goodness. You've been told that saying no is selfish, that putting yourself first is arrogance, that following your instincts is reckless. But strength, real strength, the kind that makes people respect you, the kind that makes you unforgettable, only comes from rejecting the need to be liked. So ask yourself, who are you without that need? Who are you when you stop filtering your thoughts, when you stop apologizing for being alive, when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable? If your answer feels unclear, it's because you've built your identity on reactions, not on creation. You don't have a self, you have a mask, and Nietzsche saw that mask as the death of the human spirit. The cost of weakness. But you already feel it, don't you? That quiet resentment, that subtle frustration, the kind of exhaustion that doesn't vanish after sleep. That isn't burnout. That's the weight of weakness. The cost of silencing your instincts to keep the surface smooth. You weren't born for smooth. You weren't born to fold every time someone disapproves. You were born to be sharp, to be unshakable, to be untouchable. And if you feel weak right now, it's only because you've denied that truth for too long. But it's still there, waiting. Habits that create weakness. Weakness doesn't appear in one dramatic moment. It lives in your habits, the small daily choices that drain your power without you even noticing. Nietzsche wrote, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded." Think about your mornings. You wake up, and the first thing you do is check your phone. Harmless, right? But in that small moment, you've already surrendered your day. You let the world decide your state before you even claim it. You scroll, compare, envy, and then tell yourself it's nothing. But each time you react before you create, you lose sovereignty. You weaken the muscle of command, so reclaim it. Begin the day with yourself, your breath, your posture, your focus. Remind yourself you are not a consumer first. You are a builder, a creator, a strategist. The power in your words. Weakness also shows up in how you speak, in the way you dilute your thoughts to make others comfortable, in the way you say, "I don't know," when you actually do, in the way you apologize for things that never needed an apology. Every time you do, you leak power, and people feel it. That's why they don't listen. That's why they dismiss you, because deep down, they sense you've already dismissed yourself.
The return. So here's the truth. You were not born weak. You were trained into weakness. You were softened into silence. But silence was never your destiny. Your destiny is danger. Not recklessness, not violence, but the kind of danger that comes from someone who refuses to betray themselves. Someone who refuses to live as a mask. Someone who rejects comfort in favor of truth. Nietzsche believed that the world only changes through individuals who dare to live dangerously. Not by following the herd, but by standing apart from it. So the real question isn't, how do I erase weakness? The real question is, how long will you keep protecting it? Because strength isn't waiting to be built. It's waiting to be uncovered. And if you've made it all the way here, if you've listened through to the end, you're already ahead of 99% of people. Because most will turn away the moment they feel uncomfortable. But you stayed. You faced it. And that alone proves you're ready to reclaim the strength that's been buried inside you all along.